Do you know what this watch is here?
I don't know what this is.
Okay, this is like $1 million. This is like $1 million watch. This is a Patek tourbillon minute repeater. So this is the complete opposite of what we're doing here. Actually, I mean, not complete, but yeah, it's complete opposite of. Hang on, let me see now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, and again, we're gonna, as with all these collections, we're gonna be rating them on, I would say, a couple of elements: quality of the collection overall. Is it high quality? Because it is Instagram, because photo creativity, which is important. Upside potential. Do these watches have upside potential? And kind of like, okay, and the choice of the watch. Is it an interesting watch? So with that said, let's dive into this. I'm going to bring this out here and pop it up on the screen. So this guy, I think this guy's somewhere in Europe. I don't know if he's like Turkish, German, or Turkish guy in Germany. I don't know what the deal is. But he's obviously, okay, so he's got a picture of himself with Arnold. Okay, I think he's the guy. I think he's the guy on the left. I don't know what is going, what the deal is. He's got, he's flying private. So he's a heavy hitter on going on yachts. Now, I think the guy's legit. I don't think this is one of these fake whatever. But so he's got some heavy hitter watches, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start not from this. I'm going to start actually from his earlier posts, because you can kind of see the evolution of the collection. You're going to see the evolution of, I think, again, I don't know the guy. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Actually, no, let me start. No, I'm going to start actually from the recent, and then we'll dive back. You'll kind of see the evolution of the collection. I think most of the, I don't know, does he own the watch? I don't know. But he's wearing them. I think he may own them. He's got some interesting watches. Okay. So we got here an AP Royal Oak. Now this is, can we do a zoom in? This is the frosted gold with the rainbow bezel, right? So you got the gems, you got that rainbow thing happening. You have the frosted gold, which is, I think the frosted gold is really a kind of an underappreciated thing for Royal Oaks. Now, in terms of
I like this a lot better than I thought I would.
Listen, the watch is, the watch is a beautiful watch. And the only thing is, my concern is you have a lot going on. You got a skeleton, you got, the rainbow bezel, you got the frosted, there's like 3 things happening here. Like, it's a lot going on. You know what I mean? It's like, which I think takes away from, with the skeleton watch, you want to see, it's all about showing the movement, right? So you want to keep it simple.
There's something about this that I like better, for example, than any Richard Mille. There's something about the surrounding, the bezel, the bezel, sort of capturing, holding in the dial, and it actually does. I like it better than I thought I would, because I'm a big. I worry about some of these watches just having. Who's going to care about these in the future? They're way too busy. This is better than I thought.
No. So, no, it's interesting. Okay, so maybe I think I see where you're going. So basically, so that the bezel holds it. Basically, it's a frame for the movement.
Yes.
It's a good frame. You were saying the gem set.
Yes.
Yeah. I would disagree with the rainbow. The guy's got. I would say this. he takes great pictures. So he gets an A plus. He gets an A plus. I'll say right off the bat, he gets an A plus for photography, creativity. This is not the good photo unit, but overall, he's got great pictures. You know, here's the thing: if I was getting a skeleton watch, and I really don't like skeleton watches because to me it's like I don't really care. Like I don't really care about the movement. If I were to do it, I would want the focus to be on the movement. So I would stick with the simple bracelet, like whether it's steel, gold, or whatever, not the frosted. And maybe I don't know if they do it if they just do a plain diamond. I don't know. I would stick with the simplicity. I would stick with something simple. This is a little bit too much. I think like okay. So my take on this is this. So we're rating also on upside potential, right? Upside potential. I think long term. Now this is very like the problem with this watch is it's got so many elements going on. Like it doesn't. I don't think it has that timeless classic appeal, which AP Royal Oak has. The Royal Oak really does have, but you got so much stuff going on here with the frosted. It's a lot of novelty stuff that I don't think it's gonna hold up well. But you know, 20. You know, I think the price that he's gonna drop, and then over 20 years from now, all of a sudden, he's gonna have a comeback. 30 years from now, but this is like I would kind of stay away from this, but whatever. Listen, I don't think the guy's worried about resale value. You know, I don't think that's a concern of his, to be honest.
Hey, I'd rather own this than a Panerai. I'll tell you that. Oh.
Yeah, no, look.
I just think in terms of, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. Okay, so he's got this shot. I don't know where this is. This is somewhere, okay, somewhere in Abu Dhabi. He's somewhere in Abu Dhabi having eating caviar with 4 other guys. Yeah. There's a little bit of a sausage fest here. But listen, he's in good company. Look at the watches that these guys have on this table. You got this Richard. I don't know what this is. This is like I think this is like this watch I think might be like up in the 7 figures. This is like some weird Richard Mille. This is up there. You got this basic.
Yeah. That Richard Mille does absolutely nothing for me. None of the Richard Milles. I don't think they are in any way timeless. Is my own personal opinion. They're much too busy. They just, they look like they're made by Swatch.
Yeah, here's my thing with the Richard. I actually think design-wise, like I wouldn't wear it. It does have that like gimmicky thing, but you know what? I actually think that overall, I mean, again, price-wise, I would be really nervous to have money tied up in this. But it's one of those. Here's the thing: they do something that's innovative. It is innovative. They have like all stuff, technology, whatever, blah blah blah. Long term, they're going to be considered. I mean, I don't think the value is going to stay up, but they're going to be up there. They're not going away. It's going to be like a Frank Mueller, but better. But this is cool. Look at this. He's got. So this is his watch. I think this is his AP over there. Yep. That's his AP. That's somebody else's RM with this. I love this. It's pink gold, ink strap. This is crazy. And then you got this basic bitch date with, I don't know, with this ugly dial, with this, this bezel with the diamonds. Yeah, I hate those. This is the dog. This watch. Somebody should just take a hammer and destroy it. But the rest of it is great. I think this is great. This is great. A great photo, very creative. I mean, this is an A+. I mean, I would just like push that Rolex out of there. It doesn't belong in this photo. This is unbelievable.
Out of the other three, which one would you take off and run?
What's that?
Out of the other 3, which one would you quickly swipe off his plate and run out of the restaurant with?
You know what? I actually like this pink gold at the bottom with that. I mean, like with a pink strap. That's like a. I mean, I can't wear it because they just what I can't get into it. The size for multiple reasons. It's not my thing, but it's a cool watch. I mean, it's like if you can pull it off, that's a great watch. If you can pull it off, it's not. This is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like. It's basically like driving this type of Lambo. I mean, very few people can pull that off in terms of you know, the attention, the whole thing, and you know, also is it
Right.
the comfort, the practical. You know, it's a different mindset. The person who buys the RM is the Lambo guy who buys the, you know, the lime green, you know, the crazy color. It's part of that same thing. I respect it. You know, it's like, you know, why not?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's people want to have fun, right? Like, what's the point of making money, right, if you're not going to enjoy it, right? It's like, so he's another RM guy with, I don't know. So I'm not really into the RM. So I'm going to move on. But this is his AP. So he's got some very interesting watches here. So let's get into this. Okay, we're going into the heavy hitter territory. So this is the Nautilus Rose Gold. I love this. The rubies on the bezel and ruby markers. This is amazing. And in rose gold, it's a little bit
Yeah.
like, it's a little heavy, but like rose, like too much red. But wow, I mean, this is like, I mean, in person, this has got to be like amazing watch. This is like a $500,000 watch.
I'm surprised at how much I like it. I actually think the rubies do a nice offset. They complement the watch in a way that I didn't expect.
You know what it is? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Even inside on the dial itself, I think those rubies they're classier than I expected them to be. It's turned into a very classy watch. Again, I much prefer this to a Richard Mille. I prefer his other.
We can't compare. It's comparing a Rolls or a Bentley to a Lambo or a McLaren. Actually, to a McLaren. Right. You can't compare. It's like they're completely different beasts. But I'll tell you what it is. What I like about this, the thing with the gem set here is the shape of the gems. You get the baguette shape, which I think is you know, if you're gonna do diamonds on a men's watch, you want to go with this baguette shape. It's more of a masculine shape than having like a round, like the Rolex when they do. I don't know, whatever visually. So it looks great here. And also the thing is this: the Nautilus. I kind of think the Nautilus is a bit of a hokey, kitschy watch from the 70s. I mean, it is for vintage. I really don't think they should be making them today. I've said that on other videos. I think it's a dated, it's a novelty thing, as opposed to the Royal Oak. The Royal Oak is a timeless design, whereas the Nautilus, if you really think about it a lot, it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit gimmicky with the whole thing, whether the shape or the whatever. But the baguettes, the rubies, they really they make the bezel look good, and also the baguettes on the hour markers, I think, is always a great. If you're gonna go with diamonds, whatever, gems, but the baguette shape is what you want. You don't want to have like little round baby diamonds. You want to have the baguettes. It's like very like, I don't know, Roman Imperial. It's beautiful. The one thing is the white date window. The white date window is a it's I'm looking at this and it's
not a guy at all. I'm a time only guy myself, and it looks okay, but I'd rather not have it.
No. So it's, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. If the date window, I don't know if they have the philosophy of the date window, but at one point they were doing date windows either to match the dial, or they did white on black or something to at least blend in. And the white, it looks a little cheap. Now, this is a beautiful chocolate dial, actually. The dial is chocolate. Why couldn't Patek do like a brown chocolate, whatever, date window with white? That would have been a killer look.
Right.
Anyway, look, the watch is a great watch. I mean, that's it. I mean, what else are we going to say, right? Okay, he's back to this. And look how great it looks. And now you can see the details of this. Much better in this photo, no? Much better. You can really see the details of the frosted. Great.
The colors, also the background colors help it a lot. I think the white, I think his jacket looks good with it.
Yeah. Impressive. It's you know, the frosted is just very busy with the gems. If they did on the classic, or if you just on a basic rose gold, a Royal Oak bracelet would be amazing. The frosted with the gems, it's too much. You know, it's like it's too much. It's like, you know, like, but actually, you know, if you look, this guy, like, I mean, look at this. I don't know. This guy puts monograms on the sleeve. I don't know, monogram on the sleeve. Like, I don't know. It's a little too, you know, there's some things you don't do. But anyway, let's move along. We got some ultra heavy hitters. Look at this. Look at this great shot. He's taking a picture with a hamburger, right? Cheeseburger. Do you know what this watch is here?
I don't know what this is.
Okay, this is like $1 million. This is like $1 million watch. This is a Patek tourbillon minute repeater. And this is like, and I love this photo that he's doing it like very casual looking, you know, whatever. It's like, but this is like, I mean, this watch, hang on a second, let me see. Patek, let me see if I can find one, if I can find a video on YouTube where they have the sound of the minute repeating. Hang on a second, let me see if I have this. I'm going to see if I can find it. There's only, okay, let me see if I can. Oh, wait, okay, hang on a second. So, I don't think that's the sound of them. I don't know what this is actually. I don't know what that sound is. Oh, here we go. You know what's annoying? These guys, they make a video. It's about a minute repeater, so you want to hear the sound. But why do they have background music? They should not have background music here. I want to hear the minute repeater. Listen to this. These guys totally ruined the thing with the minute repeater, but at least we heard it a little bit, right? Like, okay, so this thing is like, I don't know, it's like $1 million plus, whatever. Let me see if these guys.
Brady is trying to track down our.
I got ads here. Hang on, I got.
Looks like I just missed her.
Hang on a second. Let's get to this.
We need a couple more members so that you can get YouTube Premium.
Yeah, it's so we need some people to sign up so I can pay for that premium. Hang on. Okay, here we go. All these people have. Are we gonna hear it? Okay, here we go.
That's spectacular.
Okay, this is a tip for all these people doing videos of these watches. If you're going to show a minute repeater, I want to hear the minute repeater. I don't want to hear background music. I mean, what kind of tomato cans are these people? Anyway, so this guy, look at this. This is a mega heavy hitter watch. Now, in terms of, I mean, I think this. I mean, I don't want to say it's ugly. I just like, I don't know what it. So the hands, I think the hands are actually ugly. The case, what do you call the sides of the case? It's got a weird design. Like, I would not wear this watch. I think this watch is a piece of shit. I mean, I don't care if it's
where I can't read the time. And
yeah, well, you know what it is. You know, with these skeletons, it's not about reading the time, but whatever. No. But this, I mean, it's kind of the sides of the case and the hands. They're really ugly. I mean, really, it looks disgusting. It really does. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever. I find this thing like repulsive in a way. The skeleton, the movement is beautiful. The movement is beautiful. Just that sides of the case, they have that funky thing.
The side of the case. What were they thinking? It's just way too busy. It takes away from the actual beauty of the watch. And I agree with you on the dial.
Did we even
I don't know.
Hang on. Did we show? Hang on a second. Did we show the sides of the case? I just want people to see this. I want them to see this horror. And look, this is modern Patek. This is the problem I have with modern Patek is that they're doing stuff which is like, hang on a second. What do we see the sides? I just want to show the sides of this. Okay, here we go. Okay. There. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Now this looks like I get this thing over here is like there's no function. There's no it's not beautiful. It's like when Patek does their engraving, I think it looks like vomit. The Patek engraving, I think it looks absolutely disgusting. And this is absolutely disgusting. This is actually kind of cool the way they have this thing with the lugs. It's got a little bit of that Coda 1159 thing happening. I don't know what this is. It's like this. I don't want to use the word Baroque because it's not Baroque. It's like, look at this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
It almost looks like they're just glued on there, and they had a couple extra pieces, and they thought, "Hey, this looks like fun." If there's a guy out of Texas who does some engraving, you can send him your Rolex, and he does some really interesting engraving. That I think is appealing. Find a watch you love. That you'd like to just dress up a little bit more, and very interesting stuff.
I'm okay. By the way, I'm okay. You know, some of these guys do this type of engraving that they do on buckles, this kind of cowboy stuff. It depends on the skill, right? Depends on the design. It's all about the design, right? Now, there's something interesting. I wouldn't do it, whatever, but when Patek does it, like they choose the ugliest, most like repulsive designs. I mean, they have some people there with like no taste. I'm sorry to say it. Look at the movement thing is, I mean, it's beautiful. Look at it. It's great, right? The movement is beautiful.
Yeah.
But look at the hands. What is going on with these hands? Like, I don't know what's going on with these. I don't know what's going on. To me, this is like just anyway, this watch, I would say, is a piece of shit. But let's move along. Okay. So he's got, this is, again, another heavy hitter. AP Perpetual. I love Perpetual calendar. The Perpetual calendar with what is going on here? With the skeleton on ceramic, black ceramic. Yeah, you can't. You know, this is. Here's the thing. I'm not I can't personally. I can't get into the whole ceramic thing. But oh shit, it's showing up. Hang on a second. What's going on here? Hang on. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm not sure. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, sorry guys.
Yeah, okay.
Baron, by the way, when I'm talking about the watch and it's not on the screen, please tell me it's not, to because I don't know if it's not on the screen. There we go. Okay, so we got that's Chrome Hearts. That's what it is. Chrome Hearts, that stupid. The whole Chrome Hearts thing. I don't understand that thing. It's like some weird thing. People buy that brand. I don't get it. Anyway, the thing
this does nothing. First of all, with the black color, you can see his shirt is reflecting off of the watch, so that you're not seeing the watch. You're seeing the color of his shirt. Maybe he could do some shaving on the side of the watch. It also looks like the watch itself. I don't know if he's scuffed it up, but on the left-hand side there, something's odd. Maybe there's another layer. It just does absolutely nothing for me.
Okay, so on the left. Okay, no, okay. So what you're seeing is so. Here's the thing. So on that bracelet, right? So those edges are polished, so it's like a reflection. And so the bezel, that base, the bezel, the base of the bezel is polished, so it's got a very it's actually when you see it in person, it looks amazing. It's an amazing. The watch is amazing. I mean, it's like in ceramic. So the thing with ceramic, again, it's it's all ceramic. It's all about innovation. I appreciate what they're doing. I think these are really great. I don't think I'd wear a ceramic watch because it's just I don't know. I just don't like it. It's kind of weird, right? The ceramic, it might break.
Do you like any of the porcelain watches that are coming out? The porcelain dials? Does that appeal to you at all?
No, I hate porcelain dials. Actually, ceramic. You know who is doing ceramic? this brand Rado RADO in
Right,
the 80s,
right,
70s.
yep. Yes.
You remember they had all those ads everywhere in the 70s and 80s. So they were really the innovators. Now, so I don't know. I mean, it's not my thing. But again, for AP Perpetual calendar, I'm always a big fan of the Perpetual calendar. Hey, if the guy, listen,
Look, I'll give you mine for Christmas. Because I'm tired of mine. I'll send you mine.
There you go.
I'm just ceramic. Oh, if I can just take it for anyone interested in a little more information on the custom engraving, there's I'll just talk about a website that folks might be interested in. David Wade Harris out of Texas. Pretty interesting. It might be worth looking at his website. For anyone, I've actually got a watch that I'm tempted to send him and ask him to engrave it. He does a lot of Western stuff, but he does some other things also. I think there might be a watch in anyone's collection. They just say, hey, I'd like to do a little something special, unique to it. So David Wade Harris.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at his thing here, and hang on, I'll pull this up.
Do you want to
no,
show
since
it?
you're talking, yeah, I'm showing. Okay. It's on the screen now, right? Okay, so this is.
Yes.
You know what? So here's the thing. So I actually, for this thing, I kind of get it. I kind of get it in terms of like he's doing a Western thing, and these guys they engrave it's a thing with guns. You engrave it. It's kind of cool. Like I get it. It's like a real art from the guy, and his designs are actually. I mean, listen. I think they're more interesting than. This is the type of thing I really like. I don't like this wave stuff. This is very old fashioned looking to me.
Right.
Actually, but this
go to his website. He's got a bit of variety to it. Somehow or other they chose. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. That one on Etsy. It's not my thing, but he does a lot of Western and some of it with the black inside. There's a term for it. Where it's polished on the outside but black on the inside, and so just interesting. It might be folks might be interested in kind of just.
It's got look. If somebody wants to do that, God bless, whatever. But all right, so back to the hype collection here. So this watch is, again, this is like I think like AP at its best. I mean, this is an absolute stunner. So you got the Royal Oak white gold salmon dial. Now again, this the monogram on the cuff is very unfortunate, but the watch is, I mean, it's stunning. Look at this is what they do best. So you got this beautiful clean design, and by the way, the date window here is it's like a matching color. It's not that stupid white, and the white gold markers against the it is stunning. The polish on the white gold, everything works here. This is an amazing look. That's what a Royal Oak should look like. That is what it should look like. Amazing watch.
Where are you on polished versus brushed? So that you could see that the bracelet was brushed, but the edge of the bezel is highly polished there. Do you like one over the other?
What do you mean? No, I mean that's the look. That's the Royal Oak look, right? That's the.
Why not polish a bracelet, for example? Or you just say that's the look.
You know what? I haven't thought about. Actually, no, I haven't thought about it. But actually, no. Actually, now that I thought about it for a second, here's why this is so good. Because like on a modern Rolex, like the Yachtmaster I have, which is the bracelet is polished, so it gets scratched very easily, and also it's too shiny. What happens with the Royal Oak bracelet, because of the brushing, it's got some slight edges that are polished. It creates a beautiful play with the light, and the bezel, because it's got that polish and the top of it is brushed. It's just amazing. The design, the guy Gerald Genta, when he designed that, he just that was
hit it
I
out
mean, it
of
was
the park.
divine inspiration. I mean, it's something from God. I mean, he had like a connection for 30 seconds with God when he made that design, and that was his best work. That was his best design. He did a lot of designs. The Royal Oak is his best design. Everything else, he had some interesting designs, but this is like so like he hit it so out of the park with this. It's like yeah, it doesn't compare with anything else. So yeah, it's and here's the other thing with AP, they've actually been getting better and better in the last 20 years because the early Royal Oaks, they weren't, I don't know, they just the dials were kind of dark. They didn't have like nice they were very boring. And I think in the like starting in the late 90s, they started doing the design was more I should say brighter or I'd say brighter with more stuff going on, like more what's the word I'm looking for? More the dials became brighter and there was more play with the light with the newer dials.
Okay.
And that's and by the way, and that's when all of a sudden AP started becoming popular only in the last like 15 years. I mean, they didn't have a big fan base in the 90s. I remember seeing AP Royal Oaks in the 90s, and I was like, ooh, they had those dark gray dials, and I was like, oh, what a piece of shit that is. Yeah, it's only when they started doing these brighter dials, like wow, everything started working. So by the way, this is his well, no, this is a different one. Wait, is this the same one? No.
That's the same one.
No, this is different.
If it is, this one is maybe white gold, and the other one was yellow gold, if I remember it right.
No.
But outside of that, it's absolutely identical.
No. So the first one, no, this is crazy. I don't know if he owns these. I have no. No, the first one was rose gold. This is platinum.
Right.
This is platinum with a gray dial, right? This is crazy. This is why would the guy want to have two? Oh, look at he's
there it is. Yeah.
Okay. It could be now. We don't know. It could be that he owns one, the other one is owned by. I don't know. I don't think the guy would own two, unless you never know. But this is there. You go. Look at this is the. So here you can see. On one hand, I don't know. What do you think is better?
I like the one on the right. I happen to like because I think the color of those rubies show up better against the whether it's white gold or platinum. I like the one on the left, but I much prefer the one on the right.
Yeah,
I think they complement better.
Yeah, no, actually, I agree. No, that's the thing. That's my thing with the rose gold. The ruby, that red and gold, the rose, it blends too much together. It just doesn't work. I mean, I shouldn't say it does. It's not as good. It looks a little, I don't know. But on white gold or whatever white metal, it's great. I really can't tell. And I'm not actually I don't like. If it was white gold, I would like it better. I don't like platinum. Something about platinum I find a little bit.
Did we actually just see our very first two-tone in there? Was that yellow gold on the surround? Because we haven't heard the word two-tone in this entire in our live stream yet. And so
no, he has. He's got. No, I think he does. I think be patient. He has a two-tone coming up. He's got one coming up. Okay,
the best for last.
Yeah. So he's got. Okay, so what does he got? So what is this? This is. Again, I don't know if he does the owner, whatever. I don't know what's going on here. Is it one is a friend, but he's basically showing me like this is like some 5711, the whole collection. Okay, so we got this is kind of a bit of a letdown almost. No, but this is so this is the new Nautilus 5811, right? This is in white gold. So they discontinued the other one. This is. Actually, I like this better. But again, with Nautilus, I'm not a big. There's only one Nautilus I like, and he has it. We'll show it in a second. I mean, it's okay. The thing is this: my issue with this is, if you have all these other heavy hitters, like, do you need to have like, you know, do you need to have like a basic watch? I don't
You
know.
nailed it.
Like,
The
you know,
short
it's
answer
kind
is
of
you
like,
don't.
yeah. So he's
Why?
got this. Yeah, he's got this. I guess they gave him the gloves as part of the deal. This is part of the the set, the box
Yeah.
set. Now I don't know. Does he own it? I don't know. Does he own it? Okay. Oh, hang on. I think there's one of these posts where you can hear the chiming. Okay. Yeah, you can hear the chiming of the minute repeater. He's got it here somewhere. Okay, there's the minute repeater again. The 5303. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I think he's got he's got the sound. Okay, that's how you make a proper video with a minute repeater. I mean, the sound is.
Yeah, that's classy.
But you know, I'll tell you the truth though. I have heard minute repeaters. That's not the best sound. I mean, again, we don't know what's on the internet. It's not the most amazing sound. It's not. It's kind of like, it sounds okay. It's not the best sound I've heard. In other words, it's not $1 million sound. I've heard minute repeaters like cheaper ones. This is not $1 million sound.
Okay.
But okay, now this is a little crazy. So this is the 5712. Oh, actually, no, I think this. Okay, they called 5724. And this watch actually in rose gold with the diamonds. It looks amazing. Or I think it comes with rubies also. With white gold, it's kind of I don't know, the 5720. It doesn't. Just doesn't look. I like it with the yellow, warmer tones. Like whatever. It's like
really good, but
it's got Cartier jewelry. What is okay? This is a little tacky. Okay, this is amazing. Again, AP. This is like at their best. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a rose. I think this is rose gold, right? This is rose gold tourbillon.
Rose gold? Looks yellow to me, but I may not have my colors down.
So this dial that they do for. So here's the thing. This tourbillon that they do,
right,
is I don't really give a shit about tourbillons, but if you're gonna show a tourbillon, you want to really show it off. And the way they did the design on the dial is guilloche, which kind of like goes out like a kind of, I don't know, like an opera hall or something. I don't know, like it really emphasizes it's such a beautiful design. That's such a killer design.
Unfortunately, the light doesn't happen as much as I would hope. It just, maybe I've got higher expectations, but there, yes, if you can hold it in that position constantly, great. But I think he found the right light for it. But
what is this?
Right
no,
here.
This is what is it? This is I don't know what the metal is. I think they call it I don't know this model. The little LeBron James. Is this yellow gold? I don't know what color metal, but it's got sapphires. Actually, the sapphires in the blue dial. I don't know if I really care about that much. It's a little too much tone on tone. But whatever. I don't. Whatever. This is, who knows. Okay, we got more. We got more of this. This watch. It's a beautiful watch. The the chocolate dial. I'm a fan of the chocolate dial, rose gold chocolate dial. Great.
Ça tue, ça blesse, ça flingue.
Video here. Okay, so we got okay, again, we got the yeah, I don't know. The more I see this watch, the more I don't like it because of the because of that
I prefer this over the last one we saw, over what I'll call the Opera House one. And I know you like that one a lot. I'm surprised at how much I like this.
Yeah, this frosted thing.
But we know what to get each other for Christmas, so
let's take a look. I mean, I like frosted if it's simple, but when you got the gems, you got it's too much. Too much. Okay. Okay, you got some Cartier, whatever. Ace. Oh, I don't care about this. Okay, this is a cool watch. This is the Celestial. I think he shows two of them. I don't know. Again, we don't know if this guy owns half. I think he owns some of the watches at least, or I think. I don't know. Okay, so it's the Celestial in, I believe. Is it? What metal is this? I don't. It says R. I don't think this is. Is it rose gold? I don't know. You can't tell. With the Piguet diamonds, which is a great look. Now this is. It's pretty crazy. Actually, we can show a video. There's a video of this movement. The movement is interesting. You know, it's like basically shows you the Milky Way. The Milky Way, as it, you know, based on the time, it shows you where you are and also the moon phase. So it's this watch. This watch is about 200 grand. It's not like crazy for a Patek, for like a super complicated Patek, you know.
That rose gold is phenomenal.
So the frosted, I don't know. I just can't look at that. There we go. Is this blue or black? No,
this is another ceramic or the same ceramic? It's a blue. Yeah, the other one I think is black.
What a great picture. He's doing a double fist, right? He's got the Nautilus, right, with the rubies, rose gold, and the Celestial. I think the Celestial gems. I don't know what it is. That one is got to be pricey. It's got to be up there.
Yeah.
I'm not really I'm not really a fan of the Celestial. Should we show the Celestial? Hang on a second. This is the. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can show the Celestial. What's the? This is the 60. What number is it? I don't know. What I want to.
6104 and the.
This watch is unfortunate. You got a Rolex. Date with this this dial with the diamonds on it, this pavé. To me, this looks very cheap. The dial looks very cheap. It looks like one of these aftermarket dials. It's not, but it looks like one.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think the bracelet is that exciting. I've never loved the Rolex bracelets.
I think this is the weak watch of the whole group so far. This is the weak one. What do you think, Baron?
Yeah, I agree with you. That there was that one Nautilus you're not a fan of.
Oh shit!
That basic. You there,
Baron? Your mic is not on.
Hang on.
Your mic is not on.
Can you hear me now? Nope. Okay, hold on.
I can't. I can't hear you. Your mic. Wait.
Can you hear me now?
Your mic. I was wondering why is it so quiet.
Give me a second. Let me work on it.
Wait, Baron. Your mic is not on. Okay.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay. He's gonna fix it. Okay. It actually doesn't matter because we got this shitter watch here that is this watch is not worth comment. But Baron, your mic is I don't hear you. Okay. So talking about skeletons, this is a proper skeleton, right? Look at this. You got you got the classic royal oak. Is this steel or white gold? I don't even know. What is this? This is what is it? I don't know. Oh, it's steel. It is steel. Okay. Now, You got a tourbillon also, which, if you're going to do a skeleton, do you want to show the tourbillon? I don't know. It's kind of, I think, you want to do one or the other. Again, I'm not a skeleton guy, but if you're going to do a skeleton, this is the way to go. It looks stunning. It really does. The plain steel. I mean, this is how you do it. You don't want to have. I mean, the idea is you want to have the focus on the skeleton, and when you have the gem set, the bezel with the frosted gold, it just takes away from it. It's like you take a. It's like you take a Da Vinci painting and you put some crappy frame around it. It's about the painting. It's not about the frame. So if you're going to show a skeleton, it's about the, it's about the painting. You want to have a simple case. Okay. The 5990, the travel time. I don't know. This is kind of like it's a couple $100,000. What is this in rose gold? I'm not a fan of this design. Again, not a fan of these. Again, here we go. This is the skeleton. Looks great. Baron, by the way, I still cannot hear you. Your thing is muted. I don't know what's going on. There was something with the mic. So let's go. Hang on a second. By the way, I'll bring this up for all the people watching. Make sure, guys, you click the subscribe button to get our free weekly newsletter coming into your inbox every week. Link is in the video description below. And we cover everything to do with Patek, Rolex, AP, and more. All right. So now we're going into some of the earlier watches. These pictures are 2 years back, 3 years back. So you see the roots of the collection. So he's got the Cartier Chinois, right? This is in platinum, limited edition. I think these are about 25 grand roughly, the secondary market or something like that. I think something like that, 30 grand. It's a very boring looking watch. It's weird because it doesn't fit into his other stuff. His other stuff is much more flamboyant. Like this watch, I'm assuming he got rid of this. The gray dial. Gray dial is like death. I hate gray dials, especially with platinum, because platinum has that kind of grayish color to it. Not a fan. Okay, so he's got a. Now this is interesting. Another Patek Philippe minute repeater. Is he going to play the sound?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Now I hear it. Yeah, I couldn't hear for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So he's got. Okay. So this is another minute repeater. All right. This is the. Hang on a second. What number is it? This is 5078. So this watch is like. It's like a $400,000 watch. Right now. I gotta tell you, so this is the design. This is the modern Patek, and this dial, I don't know what they were thinking. This is so tacky. This is like what they do.
The strap. The only thing that saves this whole thing is
the strap is beautiful. The strap is beautiful. Emerald green. It's a beautiful strap. The strap is stunning.
The dial is. You can't hardly even see it. Decent case with the dial.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
30 seconds. But yeah, this is ridiculous.
No, so the thing with this, again, this is the thing I hate about this modern Patek. They they mix. So the design is ugly as fuck, right? Like I don't know what they were thinking with this design. With a minute repeater, I don't know what they were thinking, but whatever. Okay, so the thing, the hands, I don't like the hands, I don't like the markers. That's just my take on it.
At least
Maybe
the
somebody
sides
else.
don't have any engravings on them, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit tacky. It's a little bit tacky. And I mean, again, this guy's taste is a little bit out there. I think this guy's like Turkish, so it's like that, exotic taste. These guys might like things a little bit, like he's got some weird. He's into some of these wild colors. Now this is weird. This is the weirdest thing. He's got some Langenzonen watches, which I don't know why, because these are like very conservative, very like kind of dull. Again, I'm not a Lange fan. I'm shocked that this guy has these watches. So this is the most
these are
boring.
for Mother's Day only.
What Mother's Day?
Mother's Day only. He wears these on Mother's Day to see his mother. To show her these, but that date and the day, terrible. Takes away everything from the watch. The date and the date just need to be removed. A watch like that should never have a day and a date.
Yeah, but that's the Langenzonen thing. That's their thing. They do that. The big date. It's the whole thing. It's very.
That's why I won't be buying one.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit. I don't know. This is kind of weird. Like this watch. Like again, this is some of the early. This is stuff from a couple of years back. You can kind of see how the collection evolved, right? And he'd start off with the weird watches like this Cartier, which in yellow gold it kind of looks okay. I've seen this with maybe some like gem set stuff, but this is like very dull. With the dial is very dull. Like, and I don't understand how this guy would buy, because again, he's got very flamboyant taste. Why would he buy this type of watch? I don't get it. Maybe like he had to buy it, like to get something else. Okay, this is I get. I kind of get it. It's a little bit, whatever. It's like skeleton with a funky shape, whatever. Not my thing. It's like actually, I think these are kind of going to do well over time if people like that. The funky Cartier shapes. It's interesting. It's an interesting watch. It's kind of interesting.
I'd rather have one of these than a Richard Mille. I'll say that, but that's as far as I'll go.
Yeah. So again, back to this white gold with a salmon dial. Unbelievable. And look. Okay, so the date window they did also in this kind of matching tone. Look how perfect this is. It doesn't get better.
I'm not a fan of the salmon dial. What other dial colors do you like on this watch? Like, what would you go? Greens, blues, pinks. I'm trying to think of what they come in. I don't know the watch well enough to. But the salmon doesn't do enough for me. It doesn't. There's not enough offset between the sticks and the
okay. You mean like
the hour bar?
You mean like contrast? There's not enough contrast.
Yeah,
You mean?
I want more contrast. Yep.
I think there's so I think there's actually a lot more to it than it looks in the photo. Like if you look at it, depends on where the light is hitting it. So because these markers are also white gold, right? You got to see that. You got to see some of the photos. No, it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's great. Again, you got the basic case. I don't know. It depends on the color. They make one which, I like when it's sort of like a silvery white. They do one which is like a sky, like a Tiffany blue. I think they call it. It's not Tiffany blue, but they do some. They do some great dials. Especially the modern dials are great. Anything but black. I don't like black because you're not getting the play on light. But
are you a Mother
of
Pearl fan? If they did anything, I don't know if they do anything with Mother of Pearl. Do you like that at all?
No, I think when it comes to Royal Oak, you really have to have this tapisserie. You got to have this tapisserie.
Okay.
You got to have that going on. You can't. Yeah, it's got to have that. That's the Royal Oak look. Like that's the whole. You can't have like a flat or no. You got to have that. So he's got the code 1159 Perpetual calendar, which is, and he bought this I guess about 2 years ago. So probably when these kind of just came out and they were trying to hype these up, and I don't know, like the whole Code 1159. I've said this before. I think they're going to evolve into something really interesting in a couple of years. Maybe it might take a couple more iterations, but like these are basically like just money down the tube. Like this is just with this Perpetual.
Yeah, without that strap, I don't think it's that interesting. That strap really does something. He's got great taste in straps, like you do. So
yeah, no, this comes on the strap. That's the way. That's the look. It's like this nylon. No, it comes on this. Yeah, so it's the and it's rose gold. No, so what makes the Code 1159 from 8. What makes it interesting is they're trying to do this kind of modern dress watch. That's their kind of philosophy. We're going to do a modern dress watch with this kind of more interesting case. And the cases are becoming more interesting. Like you're going to see the sides of it, whatever. And what they do is they put it on this kind of nylon strap to give it that, sporty look, right? So in theory, this is a watch you can, go swimming in, you wear it with a suit, whatever. I understand where they're going. I appreciate that. It's just I don't see any of their designs that are that good, except this Perpetual. What I don't like is they have this. See this dial? It's a stone dial. It's like aventurine. It's a stone dial,
right.
And it's too busy. You got these little white dots in the stone that, when you have these Perpetual calendars, it's hard enough to read it as is.
Exactly.
You don't want to have this. I mean, like I don't like this at all. But it's cool. I mean, I appreciate where they're going with this nylon strap with a rose gold. The trunk. But JLC does a Perpetual calendar also. Rose gold on a rubber strap, which is the Polaris. I think it's a better watch. It's cheaper, like 30 grand.
Quick question for you. The one thing we really haven't talked at all about is crystals. Do you care about crystals, flat, domed? I love domed crystals, and they're starting to come out with some in sapphire. So you've got the hardness of the sapphire, but any thoughts on that?
Oh, wow. It's an interesting question. I never thought about that. I think it depends. I think it depends on the whole case. It depends on the whole watch. I like it really depends on the whole watch design. It depends on the whole thing, right? It all has to work together. So, and the way they do this, here, it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like the crystal goes out. The bezel is very thin, kind of like it goes.
Yeah.
It's almost dome. They call this dome though. I'm not a fan of this type of look because, I would think it's a little too exposed to get damaged if you hit like the side or something. I think I want a slightly more of the bezel and a flat. I think I want a flatter. I'm not a fan of that look, but I don't know. Okay, so it's weird. Okay. So he's got. So this is going back like 2 years ago. He had very different watches. Look at this. He had he had some like kind of shitters in a way. Like I would say this Cartier Chinois in platinum is a shitter. The Grey Doll, it's kind of like whatever. The Lange is a shitter. Again, they're expensive shitters, but the shitters nonetheless. Like I don't know, like how this comes into it. Like it's weird. Like it's a weird mix. You got the Code 1159. Maybe he had to buy this. Maybe they forced him to buy one of these before he can get something that he really wanted. I don't know. Then he's got this Piaget.
Yeah. I was just going to go back to the Lange for a second. It's the only one, and it's actually the only watch I've seen recently with a very, very wide bracelet. Look at how wide that bracelet is. Yeah. I actually am surprised at how much I like it, but it's, compared to all the rest of his, very wide bracelet.
I actually, until you mentioned it, I didn't notice that, but it is actually, It is kind of wide. Yeah, the lugs, it is kind of wide. I didn't notice that.
I'm surprised at how much I like it. Yeah, because that's got to be probably a 40 millimeter, would you guess? And just look at how wide that bracelet comes out onto that, onto that dial.
I think it's. I mean, I don't. I don't really like their bracelet design, but I actually do like that it's wider. It's kind of interesting. If they had a nicer bracelet design, it would be good. Yeah, I mean, I like the width. It's kind of like, listen, it's like this. It's like same thing. It's
yes.
It's proportionate, right? It's good. So okay, then he's got this Piaget. What the hell is this? Is this platinum? Platinum? I don't know what this. No, white gold. White gold. Piaget is actually a serious company. They just don't really get respect now for their modern watches. So again, this is a kind of like money down the tubes. Let's see. Again, you got the 5990 again, the travel time. Okay, whatever we saw. Okay, chronograph in rose gold, and this is frosted also. Oof.
It is frosted. Yeah, he likes his
frosting.
It's too
much. Yeah, no. Listen, if it's a plain, I think with frosted, you got to have a plain dial because, I think the idea with a frosted bracelet, you're showing off the bracelet. So you want to have a plain dial because that makes the bracelet stand out. When you have like a complication, like you got this chronograph, it's too busy. It's like too busy. It's very
too busy. And another watch where adding that date in there just ruins the face.
Yeah,
the face.
You know what? I like the date. I'm gonna go. Actually, I like having the date in that kind of what is it? That 5 whatever position. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. Zenith does that. I actually like it, and I like the fact that they do it white on black, so at least it blends with the dial. The dial has possibilities. The problem is it's too much going on, too many elements going on here. It's just too much. It's like this is a dog, kind of a dog. He's got another Cartier, shaped Cartier. It's weird. Like the whole, he's got like I think this guy just buys like I don't know, random shit. Like high end shit, but random.
Right.
Urban Jurgensen. What?
Right.
I don't get it. Like somebody who wears this brand, Urban Jurgensen, which is like one of these weird independents. The guy who buys this does not buy the other. Like it's weird. It's like a weird. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The guy who buys this watch would never buy this watch. It just doesn't.
What kind of price point are we talking about with the Urban Jurgensen?
I think they're up there. I think they're. I actually. What did that? Fuck. I don't even know. It's. What are they? I don't know what. Hold on. Let me look this up. I don't. I remember they were kind of. I saw the price and they were like kind of like, for what it is. I thought there was kind of overpriced.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Let me go. Urban Jurgensen, because I get them mixed up with another. I keep getting them mixed up with.
Hard time imagining spending big money on some of these.
Yeah, no, they're okay. There we go. So they're like in the 30s, 40s. Hang on.
I don't think that's going to hold its value. I'm sorry, I just don't. And I would say that about most of these smaller brands over time.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't, again, I did a video with this. I talk, okay, so if you're going to do something, if you're going to be an independent brand, you're going to do innovation, do something unique. Like this is like some sort of mixture of Breguet and other stuff. It's like, I don't know, whatever. Like it just doesn't, it does nothing for me. They have some interesting elements, but this is actually beautiful.
Look, I'm not saying it's not beautiful, but I bet you I could find 10 watches under $5,000 that if we did a blind test, that you would like some of those just as much as this.
Whoa, not this watch, not this over here, not this. This is.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll challenge you to a blind test, and we'll.
You're talking about this one. You're talking about this plain.
Even the other one is just, yeah.
Yeah, the other one
plenty of
was
$5 watches that I think will match this one
yeah.
without thinking twice. And
I
the person who inherits that watch, 60 years down the line is going to look at it and going to say, "Hey, there's nothing here. This looks like something they bought at Macy's."
Yeah, I would say like this Frank is basically saying like basically if you're going to go with that kind of design, I would say go with the Breguet. If you're going to do this,
Yeah.
what do you call it? The dial, the whole thing. Just go with the Breguet's best of breed. That's the original. All these other guys are just copying Breguet. So like I don't know what's the
And if we're talking about value for money, you've got to stick with the Breguet.
Yeah. It's just very weird that a guy who buys this Urban Jurgensen would also wear this. It's weird. It's like what the fuck? It's completely different mentalities. But okay. So
It might have been early in his journey.
So you get a green dial. Yeah, you get this green dial platinum. Again, this is a heavy hitter watch. And the thing though is, again, with the Royal Oaks, I think you really need to have the tapisserie dial when you do this kind of what is this? Is like I think they call it a Tuscan something, a little texture. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know. It's a little bit dull, boring. If with a tapisserie dial, it would have been amazing.
Which of the four are you looking at particularly right now? You lost me a bit.
Oh, hold on. Which screen do I have? Oh shit! There we go. You got to tell me when I have the screen. Yeah, I got to switch screens. Okay, yeah. I'm back to his. Okay,
there we go.
I'm back. Okay. So I was talking about. Okay, so he's got the AP Platinum with this green dial, which is. Again, I was saying with Royal Oak, I think you really need to have the tapisserie dial when you do these like either flat or sunburst or some sort of texture. It's just not as good.
Green dials look like they come from Macy's.
No. Green dials can be amazing. They could be amazing, but you got to have the right. Material. Like if it was a tapisserie. Yeah. This one just I don't. They got a bad what is this? This is some sort of what do they call this? It's not. I think some sort of Tuscan enamel. I don't know what it's.
I don't know.
It's not good. Okay, we got another Royal Oak Perpetual salmon dial. Is this titanium? Titanium. Wow.
So. My problem with titanium is if I'm going to wear a watch, I want to know it's on my wrist. Titanium is too light for me. I've given up. I sold several titanium watches I had.
Oh, okay.
No interest in getting another.
Really?
I need some weight. Yep.
Okay. I've never actually done. I think I put one titanium watch on. I've only ever tried one titanium watch on. I think it was a Resonance of all things. And I liked it. I like having something very light. Actually, I like that. I like having a light. I haven't seen anything. Have I seen anything titanium? I would be open to something. I would be open to a titanium watch. I haven't seen anything really good though.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, I can't say this Royal Oak. The Royal Oak is beautiful. I haven't seen anything like. I'm trying to think. What have I seen? I'm open to that. Okay, so back to the Royal Oaks. Now he's got another chronograph. Now this dial, look at this, beautiful dial with a rose gold. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful dial. Again, I'm not a fan of the chronographs, but beautiful watch.
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
And this is this is green. It's
green. Not one of them. Those pushers look like pimples coming off the side.
Oh, you don't like him. No, you know what? I like the design, but I don't like chronographs. And I think if you're going to go with chronograph, I would go with Rolex Daytona. So that I kind of like that. If I'm going to go with that, I would go with the Daytona. I think the AP chronographs have had mechanical problems. They're kind of known for that. But this watch, so this watch is actually a beautiful watch. the picture doesn't do it justice. So it's a green dial, and you got a green strap and rose gold. This watch probably looks amazing in person.
Where's the green strap and where's the green dial? I'm seeing a sort of dark, maybe it's green, but it sure looks green gray, and I'm not seeing the strap.
Yeah, it's the photo. It's the photography is not good. I mean, the photography is good. Just
there we go.
Sunlight. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, it's a great. This is a killer watch. I mean, it really is. It's like with the rose gold. This is amazing watch. Okay, back to the ceramic. We saw that. Okay, let's see. This is kind of a basic royal oak here.
It's a classic watch in that rose gold.
You know, the thing is, he's got so many of these other. Oh, he's got the 50th anniversary. Okay, he's got so many heavy hitters. Like, you know, do you need a basic one? Actually, no. This is a.
Yeah.
No, I can see it. It's an anniversary watch. And this. Okay, so this is a piece of shit. It's got the Code 1159 tourbillon with a 3912. Like, I don't know what this is. What a disaster watch. Horrible watch.
Yeah, it looks like a sort of pseudo vintage / they put a bunch of stuff in there.
No, it's horrible. I think basically he had to buy that watch in order to get something that he really
Scroll
wanted.
up a little bit more. Oh, okay. Yeah, just it was getting lost. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so he's got. Okay, so this is interesting. So he's got this. I actually looked up the price. So we got the royal oak. Hang on a second. He's got another picture over here. No, where is it? Hang on a second. Here it is. Okay. What do you think? How much do you think this watch sells for? Again, it's a factory diamond, rainbow.
Wow. I'm not good. I'm not good with prices. I'm really not good with the prices at this.
If you have to guess, if you have to guess, because I mean, we know AP royal oak expensive.
Go with $500,000. Let's go with $500K.
No, it's actually, I had to look it up. It's I think there's one online for about $200,000. I mean, they're about,
really?
They're not. I don't know. I'm surprised that they're kind of. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. They're relatively. I think they're relatively cheap for what royal oak is.
Well, a lot of drug dealers who are the obvious buyers for those are in jail right now. So maybe the market is smaller.
Yeah, I don't know. It's. I would think this would have been a hyped. You know what it is? I don't like that circular, that kind of circular pattern with the diamonds laid out. It looks very kind of odd. It just looks cheap.
Like a sunburst-ish, sort of a sunburst-ish, but not really.
It just looks. Yeah, I don't like it. It looks cheap. It's like Rolex does. It just looks very cheap to me. But I'm surprised. I would have thought that people would have, there would have been a lot of demand for it. It's a couple $100,000 is okay. So he's back to the platinum. Okay, with the baguettes. All right. Patek chronograph, white gold, blue dial with these reggae markers. This is what do you call 5370. I have to look up the price. These are about $200,000. So these are I don't know, like chronograph. Again, if I do chronograph, it's got to be a Daytona for a dress.
By the way, you see a domed crystal here. That crystal is definitely a domed crystal.
Yeah.
So now the watch does nothing for me. That crown, are there baguettes on the crown? The thing looks like
yeah, you got two pushers, another pusher. No, it's like I don't know. It's like I'm just not a chronograph fan, so I can't get into the whole thing. Okay, he's back to the with the frosted. Okay, hang on. Let's move. What else we got here? Okay, so we got actually. Okay, hang on. Now, okay, we've seen this. We've seen these guys. Okay, now let's see. He's got something very interesting coming up. Check this out. Check this out. He's got look at this. He's got that code 1159 on a like this burgundy leather strap now. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm a burgundy leather strap guy, both in the bedroom and outside. So.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. No, I definitely like burgundy leather straps. You'll see a few on some of my peasant watches here. Yeah, and I think it offsets. I think it does a really nice job to offset that dial.
Yeah, I like actually. Look, I like the call. I like the shirt, but I think with a code 1159, the thing what makes that watch kind of unique, the code, is that sport quality with the nylon strap that they do for it. So I think you kind of have to go with that. Like, that's the way to go. If you're going to go with a code 1159, you kind of have to stick. You have to stick with that nylon. I mean, you got to go with that sport look. It's a little bit like I don't know. It belongs on a different watch.
If this is a watch, though, that you just love to wear, you're going to want to change the straps around, and that's not a bad compromise.
No, maybe I think that the way I look at it, though, if it's a sport watch, right, and technically it's supposed to be a sport watch that you go swimming in or whatever, it goes in the water.
Right.
This alligator can't really go in the water. Well, alligators live in the water, but the leather doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. It does. Okay, he's got another Langenzone. It's weird. It's very weird. Like this. Now this is going back 3 years ago. This is 3 years ago. So the collection has really evolved, like from the early days, right? He started off with these kind of like, I don't know what he was thinking. Like I shouldn't even say that. It's almost like the person who buys this type of watch does not buy this. It's a completely different mindset. Like, it's weird.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only point I wanted to make back on that Lang was those pushers, how subtle those pushers are. So if you're a guy who likes a chrono, which I happen to like a chrono with subtle pushers, those to me are classy pushers. They don't look like a pimple that just popped and out on the side of the edge of your. So. Yeah.
No, it's I guess it's interesting. It's like I don't know. I haven't given thought about the pusher. The pusher. I think if I was to do a chronograph, I never thought about. I haven't seen any pushers that I found offensive. I've never found that. Like even the AP ones, it goes with the look. These are fine. Like, I never, like, I don't know, I never really think about them. So whatever. Okay, so this one. Okay. Now this, I think, is again if you're gonna go with Nautilus, like, this is the best. This is the Perpetual calendar, the 5740, I think. And white gold. You got a beautiful blue dial. The picture doesn't do it justice. This is a beautiful, beautiful watch. 40 millimeter.
What do you think the market is on this one right now?
Like 200 grand. 200. So retail, it's like 150. The secondary market is about 200. It should be like, you see them higher, but it really should be like 200. And it's been, when they first came out, it was like 400, but it's been, that spread has been compressing, and it's going to keep going down. It's going to keep shrinking. It's
okay.
Yeah, I'll talk about more about the valuations on these. Like, I think, again, a lot of these watches are really like going to be in trouble, but this is a beautiful watch. I think at some point, if these came down to like, maybe like 100 grand, it would be good value. I mean, because it's an amazing watch. I mean, for Nautilus, Patek, every 100. I think these should be selling at a discount, but whatever. Anyway, I'll get back to that later. So again, back to the Lange that you love. Actually, it's kind of cool, right?
I love the pushers. Yeah. The salmon dial is great. Hate the date. But as you said, that's a long
Oh,
thing.
wait. I'm sorry. This is the Perpetual. Wait, it's a Perpetual calendar tourbillon. Wait, is this the same watch we saw? No. I guess the tourbillon is on the back. This
Moon
is
phase,
actually.
so it's
He's got. This actually has got a lot of listen, mechanically, it's an amazing watch, right? Mechanically, Perpetual calendar. Wait, hold on a second. What is going on? Wait, this is the chronograph. I get so much. Okay, it's got a power reserve. I think it's got a power reserve on the left side. You see that? I think that's a power. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love power reserves. Yeah.
But with the red, so instead of a dial, it's got a color. That's actually really interesting.
That is.
For power reserve, if I were to do that is the way to go. That's the best power reserve I've ever seen. I mean, that's really smart. Instead of like that stupid another hand, it's very clean. It's a very clean design. And when you think
it's very clean. I love hands, so what can I say? I happen to I'll be buying the ones with the hands, and I'll buy this one too. But you'll only be. I know what to get you for Christmas.
Yeah, you know what? This watch, I'll tell you, if I were to wear Lange, like I would get. I mean, this is like really you're getting a lot going on here. It's actually. I mean, the white gold with the. I'm sorry, is this white gold or platinum? Is this? I don't know. I think it's white gold. It's a pretty cool watch. I mean, the problem is the very big. Whatever. It's a whole bulky watch. It's like a giant clock. Whatever. That's why. Again, my issue with the Lange is always that giant. Just the giant case. It's like a hockey puck on the wrist.
Yeah. So and just to your point about the giant case, look, this watch does not wrap well on his wrist. Whereas take a look at just virtually any other one in the collection, and they fit on his wrist very well. Yeah. Look at these; they're kind of extending out there.
Yeah. The thing is this, right? The watch, it's probably, I don't know, is it a half-inch tall? I mean, it's a very thick case. It's probably it's over a quarter inch. It's like a quarter inch easily. Is it? It's a big case. It's not just. It's a huge case. So it's a very. I don't know, it's like wearing a giant clock on your wrist. Okay, now this is. I don't know. This is getting like. You got this is like another hype watch, the Aquanaut. Again, a real hype watch. It's like, but it's so boring compared to everything else he's got. Like
it's got those subtle pushers. If you like subtle pushers, it's got subtle pushers on it. But yeah,
it's got back. Look at this! Wow. Wait, I think this is a different watch. I think this is white gold frosted.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness.
In white gold, it actually looks better. In white gold, it looks better than the rose, because then you can see the gems on the rainbow better. They look better with the white gold. So I that's okay. Big difference. I mean, it's a huge difference between this and the rose gold, I think. So again,
with white gold, don't you sometimes think, gee, this thing just looks too much like steel? I mean, I could also do that. I could do that same finish in steel. I could do that same finish in titanium. I could do that same finish in, what else am I thinking of? But yeah, that's my concern with white gold. It just doesn't.
Oh,
it's almost too.
Nah, you know what the thing? Well, look, I think the thing I like about white gold is sort of like, that's the whole idea. It's like only that it's gold, right? Like, the peasants think it's steel. They think it's it's like a Timex. But that's the whole idea with white gold is like it's stealth wealth kind of. That's the whole idea with I'm a fan. I'm a fan of white gold on a bracelet. I'm a fan. So we got your favorite brand. You got the Vacheron. What do they call this one? The 1921. The Vacheron, which is like I actually hate this watch. Like,
Yes.
it's
I
like what
this does nothing for me.
it's
Does nothing.
it's it's a modern. Okay, so you got a modern watch, right? This is a new production watch.
Right.
It's got this kind of old-fashioned look, this old-timey look. I don't know, whatever. It's
It reminds
gimmicky.
me. It's one of those gimmicks that starts reminding me. Have you seen these where they're taking pocket watches and they're putting them on wrists? That's what it
Yeah.
reminds me. That's where they got the idea, I'm sure. It just does.
I mean,
nothing for me.
in theory, this was like a driver's watch, so it's easy to whatever. It's like vintage inspired bullshit, whatever. Okay. Back to the long. Okay, so this is going back like almost 4 years ago. So he probably started off with this. He probably started off with Langa. With this, he's got the FP Journe. I think he's just wearing this. I don't think he bought that. I think he's wearing it in the store.
Yeah, he's in the store. I'll have some thoughts on value when the time is right.
This is a very boring watch. Whatever, like if this is like for FP Journe, I don't know, very boring. Anyway, they do some cool. This is like a very boring dial.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got. Okay, let's see what else he's got. Oh shit! What is this? This is the. Again, back to modern Patek. Like what? So they're doing this. The dial. They have this brushed look. Now they do that with a perpetual calendar with a brush look, which I think it looks really ugly. Because like what is this? You have kind of like they're trying to be modern. You got these modern thin hands with the brush, but it's a dress watch on a leather. It's like you're mixing too many. It's like mixing oil and water. Either you go with something that's classical and traditional, or you do like a sport look. I mean, like what the fuck is this?
Yeah, Vacheron is trying to do something somewhat similar with the 56, which is their entry level watch, and but this is too busy. This does nothing for me, and I like traditional looks.
Back to the actually, I think with the Celestial having the baguette diamonds on the bezel actually is a cool look, because when you think about it, right, the metaphor is. The dial is like the Milky Way, the position of the stars, and the diamonds are kind of like a little shining star. I mean, it works. The black dial with the diamond. It's actually kind of cool. This is a huge case. This is like I think it's like 43 millimeters. It's massive. It's a massive.
You notice? Have we seen it on his wrist or mostly in his hand?
Yeah, there it is.
If we have
that's the same watch. That's the same watch, except without the baguettes.
Oh.
I don't know if he owns both. I don't know if he owns both or like one. I don't know, but that's both the same watch.
Nice set of shoes, by the way, in that picture.
Actually, they are. Actually, the shoes are nice. Yeah. But this is it's an interesting complication. Okay, so we got one two-tone. Actually, he's got two two-tones, but he's got of all. But here's the thing: of all the two-tones, this has got to be the absolute worst. So you got the 5712. I think this is what is this? I think I might be white gold and yellow gold, or what? It just looks like crap. This watch looks really good in rose gold on this strap. It actually looks pretty cool. But this is just a disaster. And to wear it with a bracelet, which is going to scratch the case like that, is
exactly takes away from the look of the watch and scratches it. Put it on your other wrist if you have to wear it.
I think, and this is going back like almost 4. See, probably was just getting started with watches, and this is like a starter. I mean, compared to everything else, this is kind of like a starter watch. 4 years ago, this watch would have been 65 grand. So, which is, I mean, compared to everything else, this is on the lower end of things. And okay, he's got the Patek. He's got the Patek cufflink collection, which is he's got to match. I don't know, to wear matching cufflinks to the watch is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little tacky, but whatever.
Do you have Patek cufflinks?
I actually do. I actually got a pair of the Ellipse cufflinks. I bought them on eBay. It was like a bargain. It was like cheap. It was like, I think I paid. So it's like white gold with the enamel. I think I paid like, I may have paid like $600. There, or maybe less than $600, maybe $400, something like $600 with the original box, right? With the original box. And they go for like a couple of grand. They go for a couple $1,000. They sell for like $2,000, $3,000, $3,000. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I got lucky with it. Yeah, it was, I just got lucky. But no, they're great. So again, so this is the was a flyback chronograph, annual count. Was annual? I don't know. Was annual perpetual? Annual. I don't know. She's whatever. Sure. Like.
But terrible photograph.
What is this? Oh, he's got the flyback chronograph. Two-tone, which I love two-tone. I love two-tone on the Nautilus, although not on the modern, whatever, look. So this, again, back to this. It's kind of weird. So this is, I guess he got this watch early on. Which is kind of strange because when you
get a different strap.
No, listen, I have no idea how long the guy's been collecting. I have no idea, like we would, because I would think that from Instagram he probably shown you the evolution of the color. I don't know, but is that like, because you can see start off with like the basic, again, like this is like 4 years ago. This is the basic hype watch. Your Nautilus, whatever, chrono, whatever, bullshit, and
there's a gorgeous bracelet, I think. That with the brushed and the polished together, it just does a nice job.
This watch is a great watch. Now this is amazing watch. The Perpetual calendar Nautilus is like the best one. It's actually, I would say it's undervalued compared to all the others. Like this is like right now, let's say 200 grand in the market, whereas a one of these chronograph in gold are like 250 plus or whatever, 5980s, or the travel times are much more. And this is a perpetual calendar. That's like the ultimate Patek. That's the thing you want. So so I don't know. Did he start off with these heavy hitters? It's kind of weird how this is. Anyway, and then hold on a second. He's got this. I completely skipped by this, which is the Acrivia. Acrivia. How do you pronounce that? Acrivia, which is, I don't know. Which is actually, so it's one of these independent brands. This is really, very interesting, very expensive. I think these are a couple $100 grand plus. Very limited, very rare. They have interesting design elements. You got to respect the whole thing, this independent stuff.
The case is a really interesting case, and the way that crown is just
everything. The crown, the knurling, it's got so many great things going on. Like it's the problem I have with this independence is like, again, my issue with the independence is like, so let's rate the collection in terms of what do we rate these collections on? Overall, overall, okay, so the overall quality of the collection, in terms of other pieces quality. So I would say absolutely there's no garbage here. Even the Cartiers, which are, relatively simple watches. I mean, whatever, right? Cartier. There's really no trash here. There's no trash. Are there some ugly watches, like whatever, some of the Cartiers are kind of basic, whatever, relatively speaking. So I would say, but it's all hype watches. So the problem, like, I'm trying to think, what is the theme? What is the theme of the collection? The theme is this is like an Instagram hype collection, basically. Like whatever is the hot thing, this guy showed. Actually, with the exception of like some of those Patek, those minute repeaters, those super complications. Like, I don't know why this guy would buy those watches. I have no idea. Like, is he bought? Because, like, listen, if you're gonna write a check, I mean, that's some real money. You're talking about $1 million,
right?
I don't know what they go for a retail. It might be less. I don't know. There might be less at retail as that aftermarket price. I have no idea. I don't even want to know because the watch is so ugly. But if you're spending, that type of money on that watch, it's weird. It's like is he buying it because he appreciates horology? I don't think he does. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not like I'm saying this is not, I don't think the guy is like into movements, into like like also. I mean, I think he just wants something which is like a hype, flashy watch. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's like a weird collection because it's all like basically hype stuff. But those minute repeaters, like they don't fit into it because they're not really hype watches. I mean, they're expensive watches, but they're not hype watches. It's kind of like.
Okay. So maybe he's got a little interest in horologies, but mostly he's in it for the flash. But I happen to like the collection a lot, with the exception of those Cartiers. And the Richard RMs. I'm not an RM.
Oh no, he doesn't. No, the RM is not his. Those are somebody else's. That's
okay.
I guess somebody.
Oh right.
That's
right.
So, but it's interesting. So in terms of the collection overall, and it's all heavy hitters, which is like really interesting. This is like all top end stuff. In terms of the diversity of the collection, because I always say, look, one of the rules, one of the 10 commandments is you want to have different watches and different metals, right? I always say I don't want to see like a collection with 10 sports Rolex and steel. It's very boring, and there's so many guys that have that. They got like 10, it's these guys who go on these Archie Luxury live stream. They got like 5 Rolex sport watches, and then they got an Omega, chrono. They got the Speedmaster, all in steel, very boring. This guy has different metals. He's got steel, he's got yellow gold, rose gold, he's got diamonds, he's got platinum, he's got everything, right?
He's got straps, he's got nylon straps, he's got leather straps.
Yeah,
so I like the diversity. It's neat.
And he's got complications, right? He's got simple hand, he's got complication, he's got minute repeat, he's got like it goes high to low. The one thing though is, so if I were to do, I should say, look, the one thing is there's no, but it's all modern watches. There's no vintage watches here. Like when I say vintage, like there's no neo vintage. There's nothing from the 90s or. It's all modern production stuff. It's all stuff made in the last, 5 years. Basically, modern hype.
Even the very basic Nautilus.
Yeah. Those are all. Those are all. Actually, no, except for that 5712 on the strap. That's like from the, early 2008 or something. But everything is pretty much modern hype watches. So it's not like, there's no like real, like what's the word? It's like, it feels a little bit shallow, like very just, like, hey, the guy just started collecting like 5 years ago and just decided to buy whatever was hot. I mean, that's the kind of the feeling you get from I have no idea. I don't know what his back. I have no idea. It's just when I look at this collection, it just feels like, hey, this guy's got a lot of money all of a sudden. He's got a ton of money coming in, and he's hanging around with all these like guys partying. He go in Dubai, whatever, in Ibiza, whatever, and he's got to have these flashy watches to fit in. That's what it feels kind of like. It does like.
I'm going to counter a little bit. I'm going to give him a little more credit because, after all, he's got the minute repeater, and he actually one of his videos where we could actually hear it?
Yeah,
So there we go. So he's got some interest actually in that. He's got. I'm going to give him a little bit more credit because, after all, if he was just looking for pure flash, every single watch would have a mega bracelet on it. It would just be bracelet. It would be nothing but rose gold, maybe one white gold one. What was the one that I said he wore that to his mother for Mother's Day?
Oh yeah, the Langa.
Yeah,
the Langa.
Exactly. So I'm going to give him more credit.
Okay, you know what? Listen. Actually, you know what? I thought about. I tend to agree. Yeah, there is because the person who buys this watch, again, no matter how ugly it is or whatever, this is like a pretty serious watch, right? Or even the Celestial, nobody really knows what this is. Again, without the diamonds, nobody really knows. You're not gonna if he really wanted to impress, people at these clubs, who'd be wearing an RM, right? Or this stuff, which is, expected. So
the only mistakes, the only really bad choices in his collection is that Rolex and the ceramics, in my opinion.
The Rolex is horrible. This is horrible.
That has to go. The ceramics have to go.
The ceramic. No. Okay. I disagree. The ceramic is actually, I would say, it's historically important for AP. Perpetual calendar, ceramic. It's modern. It's innovation. It's you may not like it. I may not like it, but it's a serious watch in ceramic.
Okay.
It is. It's a serious watch.
And it helps him in his score on the collection, on the breadth and the interest of the collection.
Yeah.
I'm chomping the bit to talk about value. So, but you tell me when.
Okay. The value. Oof. Okay. So here's the So the problem with the value. Okay. So this is the last thing. Okay. Photo creativity, he gets an A+. Okay. Upside potential. Let's talk about upside potential. So an upside potential, I'll let you go first. How would you rank it on? I'm using the word, let's say, upside potential. Will these watches appreciate?
I'm going to need a little bit of help. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Can you give me your 4 watches that you think that in this collection that have the highest chance of appreciation? And then I'll come back to you. But I'm curious, would you mind just picking 4 that you think that you would be putting into your collection right now, that if you had the money for it, you think have real potential?
In other words, something where, I'm going to be writing a check and
today
and let's say I want to be able to sell it 2 years from now at a profit. Let's just say that. That's my
Yes.
I would say none of them. I think basically the value, all these hype watches, pretty much.
Yeah.
These are all modern hype watches, right?
Okay.
And again, they're all in production. Some of them discontinued, whatever. It doesn't matter really. These are pretty much just, and a lot of these have been selling over retail. Now, I don't know if he bought them at retail or if he bought them on the secondary market and he paid a premium. I don't know if he did, but if he did pay a premium, that premium is shrinking. It's like, you tell me you trade options, right? So This is like time decay. It's like time decay. That value of that option is dropping. It's dropping. And it's like, the volatility is, I forget, what do they call it when the volatility is shrinking? So all of a sudden you got time decay, you got volatility shrinking. So all of a sudden that option is like, oh my God, it's like melting. Like it's like a vampire melting. It's kind of it. So these watches are basically, in other words, the secondary market values, that delta, that spread is rapidly decreasing, and I don't think now in terms of in
That's
terms
my
of
overall problem with valuing a collection like this, because I have to see deep value. I have to be able to, and that's why I'm looking for brands that that aren't respected today, but could be. That there's a reason why there's something that's going to make them respected, and also watch styles and
okay, by the way, I would say that, okay, no, so it's not, I mean, look, there are APs, there are Pateks that are appreciating. I mean, I'm not, it's just these watches, these modern watches, like the air is coming out of this bubble, basically. So I would say that none of these, I don't think any of these watches, again, if
okay,
none of these are all basically dead money. In other words, these are either dead money or you're going to lose money on every single one of these watches over the next 2 years.
Okay.
Now, long term, do I think? I think long term, a couple of these are really. I think long term, a couple of these have classic watches that are going to. The Perpetual Nautilus is, I think, kind of undervalued. I think the price is going to go down, but 10 years from now, I mean, actually, I have no idea. 10 years from now, it's hard to. I shouldn't even say that.
Okay.
The Nautilus Perpetual is a beautiful classic watch. The what do you call this? The AP white gold salmon dial is gonna, this is gonna have value. What else? The Nautilus. Here's the problem. The problem is the values have been pulled forward so much. You know what I'm saying? So these, like, this thing is selling for 500 grand today, right? So 500 grand. So in other words, like, it's the value has been pulled forward. Like, a couple of years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago, this was a $150,000 watch, right? It tripled. This watch is not going to triple again. It's just not. I mean, it might over 50 years.
Excellent point, and excellent point about the values getting pulled forward, and that's why I have a very tough time touching new watches because
it's like you're buying a stock, at 1,000 PE ratio. You know what I mean? It's already been. It's like Nvidia. I don't know Nvidia, but what I'm saying? The value has been pulled. You're paying for the earnings 50 years from now already. Even if it's growing at 80% compound. You're overpaying. That's a thing. So it's
the famous one in the market is Costco. Everyone says, well, Costco's just going to mint money and mint money and mint money, but the price you're paying for it, how could you possibly, you're paying 50x earnings right now for Costco, and you just can't make any money. I don't know.
Which one is there?
So you would not be pulling out your checkbook for any one of these, is what I'm hearing, because they're either dead money or potentially losing.
Yeah, I would not. Okay, so at the current market price, current market values, I wouldn't buy a single one of these watches. I mean, they're all basically dropping in value. Like, they're melting. It's like melting ice cubes. But again, I'm not saying they're going to go to zero. No, I mean, they're going to go to like.
Right.
They're going to go back to, like, I think even this, again, is beautiful stuff. A lot of people are saying, I think these are all going to be, again, some of these things which are maybe much more limited, whatever, like, those are more safe, but they're going to go to pretty much, above list or whatever, slightly above, at list, maybe below list. Yeah, this is, especially Cartier. Modern Cartier, like, I mean, it's interesting, whatever, but this is, it's just there's no, I think just that they're just, again, the value has been pulled forward. I mean, like, the Coda 1159s are selling at a discount.
Are they?
I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about this. Like, Piaget's or whatever. Nobody wants Piaget. This is a cool watch. I mean, but yeah, all this stuff pretty much, there's nothing here. In other words, there are no blue chip watches here. There's no investment.
Okay. There's no investment grade. There's nothing that's undervalued.
No, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Also, there's nothing here that I would say, okay, 5 years from now, this is going to be worth more money. Like, for example, we did anybody who subscribes to the newsletter, right? We got the free newsletter. Let me give it a quick plug. Let me roll the ticker at the bottom here. So did you get this week's? Did you get the newsletter on Friday? Are you subscribed? Did you get the?
I didn't. I think I just actually subscribed on Friday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if I have it. Yeah.
So the actually, so in that newsletter, I covered Rolex triple calendars.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull this up. It's actually interesting. One second. Let me see if I can pull this up, because the Rolex triple count. Hang on. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up a snapshot of this, because there's a way to. Wait. Watch reporter behind. Let me see if I can. Anyway, the triple calendar. I'm trying to go to our newsletter so people can see it. I don't know how to get there from.
Can you, if you change the presentation mode, can you show another?
No, I'm trying to find the URL. Anyway.
Oh.
Okay, hang on. Okay, no, I think I can. Okay, no, I think I got it. Actually, I got it. It's going to look kind of. Let's see.
It won't present well on the screen.
Oh, here. No, I got it. Actually, I got it.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. So this is the newsletter. This is is it showing up?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay. So this is actually a. Let me scroll down in it. So basically, it comes in your inbox. This is what it looks like, right? And we talk about basically two models: the Rolex 8171 and the 60. So it's a triple calendar. You got day, date, moon phase, right? There's two versions. This is the early version, all right? 8171 in steel. It comes in gold. And then you have the 6062, which is slightly later. It's in the oyster case. And this looks like a modern Rolex, right? It looks like a modern, basically, it's like a modern Rolex, basically.
But there's something about that oyster case that in a modern Rolex, the case just is bigger. The oyster, there's something about the oyster, in my opinion, and I don't have the stats to back that up, but it just seems like a more subtle case.
This this watch is like a modern Rolex. 36. This is 36. This is 36 millimeter. You got a Jubilee bracelet. It's all gold, right? But this, it's the triple calendar, right? And again, day, date, moon phase, beautiful watch. So this sold for like last month, it was a couple of years, or $2 million. This is like $2 million. This watch, right? And look at the hand, dolphin hands. Again, this one sold for $5 million. This is the Bao Dai. This watch was owned by the emperor, the last emperor of Vietnam. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. No, that's some watch. But then that's vintage.
Right. This is 1950s. Yeah, 1950s watches, right? But here's the thing, right? So this watch, the triple calendar, right? You can get this now. Again, depending on the condition, whatever, they can go from $100,000 to $1 million, depending on the condition, everything, right? But if you can get, let's say, this triple calendar, this one sold for $400,000, for about, let's call it $500,000.
Okay.
Might have been a little high, whatever, but I would feel comfortable putting, let's say, maybe one, maybe slightly. Again, the condition on these watches, subtle differences can make a huge difference. I would feel comfortable putting in, a couple $100,000 into one of these, because these are actually, I believe, undervalued in terms of Rolex vintage compared to the Daytonas or whatever. And these are like the blue chip of Rolex. These are increasing they only made how many? I think they made 1,200 in total. Very low numbers, right? And when it comes to like this model, the 62, historically it's important because here you have the triple calendar, but now you're going in what we recognize today as, contemporary Rolex, the Oyster case, 36 millimeter. I mean, it's a waterproof watch. You can go swimming. It is a sport watch, right? Technically, this is a sports watch. In its day, this was a sports watch. I mean, today it's worth $2 million. It's a gold watch, whatever. But in its day, this would have been like, like a beater watch, basically. Like,
How much of a premium do you put on rose gold over yellow gold? Is that personal preference, or do you think there's actually more value in the market for rose gold over yellow?
I personally like rose gold better because it's a little more subtle, especially with Rolex. It's more subtle, and
Any sense that it sells for more?
Usually goes for more money. Yeah, usually. It also, look, a lot of these. It depends on each brand has different, like nuances. Like in certain brand, some watches are more desirable in white gold or rose gold, or it all varies. It all kind of varies, but I'll tell you what. So this was in our newsletter, right? The 8171. Let me see if I can go on Chrono.
Okay.
Let me see if I can go on Chrono. Now, okay. Okay. Now, if you go on Chrono, is it showing up? Is it you see the watches?
Not yet. There it is.
Okay. So on Chrono, so they got, again, what you're seeing here, again, the condition is everything on these watches. So you don't, if it's refinished or whatever. But and I'm not vouching for it. I'm not saying whatever.
Right.
But
Sure.
I'll use this as an example. This watch is, let's call it $100,000.
Okay.
And it's been I think the dial has been restored or whatever. In theory, takes away value, which I don't really agree with because whatever. But maybe if you get it cheaper. But this watch is a blue chip watch. Like I would feel comfortable putting money to something like this today. Like I know this watch 5 years from now is going to be worth much more. I don't know if it's going to be double. I don't know if it's going to be triple, 50. I really don't know, but I think it's definitely going to be increasing at a rate significantly above inflation. I don't know if it's 10%, 15%, 20. I don't know, but it's going to outperform. Whereas those watches that we were looking at before, the hype collection, the values have been pulled forward dramatically, right? So you're basically dead money today. Again, these are very different watches, right? Now,
right.
Let's see here. We got and again, not everybody's going to wear this or whatever, but if you're talking about just dollars, you're talking about investment, great value, whatever. Yeah, these, like in terms of Rolex, these are, great. Hey, by the way, I would also say a Rolex Daytona, a two-tone Daytona, like the previous models. You can pick one up for $16,000. Those you'll make money.
But
I mean, those
just before you get to the Daytonas here, can I just ask you, would you look to buy this from Rolex? Who would you look to buy this from when you're spending $100,000 on a watch and you're looking for resale? What have you thought about that at all? If I don't know if you've ever put 100,000 into a particular watch, but who do you want to be buying from? Is it worth paying the extra money to buy it directly, let's say from Rolex, if they were to offer this to you.
No, so you can't. No, but these are so these are vintage watches. They're not. Rolex is not selling these. No, we're talking
But is
about. You're talking about.
Rolex back in the business? I thought Rolex is now back in the vintage watch business. I haven't followed it closely.
No. They're selling. No, they're selling modern Rolex. What do you call it? They're selling. What do they call it? Certified pre-owned.
Certified pre-owned, but not a vintage.
No way.
Oh.
No. Only like modern. No, it's the certified pre-owned. I think is limited to like the last, I don't know, 10 years. It's really modern watches basically. Yeah. No, so this,
Vacheron actually has a I've forgotten the name of their collection, but they buy back vintage watches of theirs. They restore them, and they've got about 100, and they sell them in a collection. They actually transport it around the world, and then you can buy from that collection.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's actually interesting. Okay.
I'll see if I can find it. And I just wonder if Rolex isn't doing that yet, are they going to be doing it soon?
You know what? I think. Okay, no. So what you're telling me about Vacheron, I didn't hear about, but it's very interesting. I think for Rolex, I think they would never do that because they're a mass production company. It's all about mass production, and they just want to sell you the new thing. They don't care about vintage, and when people send in watches for service, I mean, historically, when people would send in watches for service, Rolex was very. I mean, they would just swap out new dials, new everything, and they were not They were not sensitive at all. No, they were not sensitive at all to historical value. And I don't even think. Do they even buy back? I mean, do they even have a museum where they? I think they. I don't think they even. I don't think they're not sentimental at all. Rolex is like just a soulless machine. That's what they are. They're not.
I've sent you a link to that Vacheron collection, so at some point you might be interested. But yeah, no, this is a gorgeous watch. But it was the broad question about who do you buy from, or would you actually seriously consider somebody here? I mean, actually, I'm looking at a watch from these guys right now, Watch Center Lugano. I'm looking at Eberhard. So these guys are probably the real McCoy. They've got a 5.0 rating on Chrono.
I don't know. The thing is with these. Okay, so when it comes to these, like, the vintage watches that I have, they're relatively cheap watches. They're like, we're talking about, 10 grand, that type of range. When I say vintage, I'm talking about like, 60s, 70s type watches, that type of stuff.
Right.
And they're in original condition, unrestored. People aren't going to screw around with them because they're not valuable, really. But when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to these, like, Rolex stuff that's like in the 20, 30 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, people play a lot of games. They swap out. You don't know what you're really getting. There's a lot of, stuff people can do. There's a lot of, I don't want to say fakes, but there's like, you got to be. This is like a really, really. How should I say this? It's very.
Well, you got to be very sensitive to what you've got to know your seller.
It's interesting. I think where this vintage market, because there's like stories about like, they're putting in, they restore dials and they make them look old. There's a lot of, they put in these Frankenstein watches with different, there's all some stuff going on, right? Because, you have a lot of money at stake. Like you're talking about, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some cases $1 million, right? It's a little bit like, and there's also, here's the reality, right? You have, the whole field of, like, let's call it vintage watch collecting is relatively new. It's only been around, like, I mean, let's say 25 years, really. I mean, that's very new.
That makes sense.
I mean, the first real wristwatch auction took place like in 1990, right? That was the first time they actually sold wristwatches as like before that, people collected pocket watches. When people collected watch, it was about pocket watches, right? And the wristwatches weren't really a thing. And so it's a relatively new phenomenon that we have. And there's a lot of people who claim to be experts. There's a lot of dealers who claim to be experts and whatever.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something, a lot of these guys, they don't really know that much. They sound like they do. They're good bullshit artists, or they think they know,
Right.
but they really don't know. I mean, really, it's very similar. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of, okay, so how should I say? There's not a lot of deep scholarship in this. It's sort of like, okay, I would compare it to the art market. I would compare it to kind of like the art market at the turn of the century for like old master paintings. And, you know, the stuff was around, and like some of those paintings are around 400 or 500 years, right? And but there was still a lot of those paintings were never signed, right? So, you know, a lot of money can be made by, you know, changing the attribution from, like, you know, I don't know, I'm going to say from whatever, from like some guy to Caravaggio, right? So if it's a Caravaggio, well, actually no, Caravaggio, I don't think he was hot at the turn, but let's use, like, I don't know, Raphael. Okay. So Raphael painting in 1900 would have been worth today the equivalent. I mean, let's call $10 million in today's money, right? $20 million. But, you know, there was guys who were followers, circle of Raphael, whatever, right? And there really wasn't that much scholarship. I mean, there wasn't really that good at that point, so people could play a lot of games. And there was a lot of guys with a lot of different opinions, and people took, you know, serious. And then later on, they realized, oh, no, this wasn't, you know. So you bought that painting, and then like 50 years later, some guy does more research on it, and, you know, says, no, this is not Raphael. This is like studio of Raphael. All of a sudden, the painting value goes from 50 million to 200 grand.
Yeah.
Or could go vice versa, right? So you get the same thing with watches, except with watches, see, with paintings, you had that opportunity where it can go, you know, from down to up, because it can get upgraded, because, you know, it was unsigned, and somebody says, no, this is a studio of Raphael or circle of Raphael, and then it gets upgraded to, you know, Raphael or whatever. Yeah. But with watches, we know the brand. The brand is right on the dial. We know who the maker is. So you don't have that opportunity for discovery. The only thing is how many models were made, or was this a one-off, or was there only a few? So you have a limited type of thing. But listen, a lot of these guys, most of the dealers in the vintage market, especially Italians, you know, the Italians are great con artists. And by the way, I love the Italians, right? But here's the thing you got to realize with the Italians, historically, I mean, like in the DNA of collecting, and the Italians were really the first collectors of, let's say, art, right? Going back to the Roman Empire, right? I mean, the Italians were basically collecting ancient Greek marbles in, you know, it's circa, 200, right? They were buying, but that market, right? So that market for ancient Greek marbles, which were, 500 years old at that time, whatever. At that time, you had guys faking ancient Greek marbles. You had them buying, maybe, because, a lot of those things were in pieces, right? Maybe you had a torso, and then they would add a head from one thing, or they would take a head and add, and you see them in museums, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. The thing could be worth a lot of money, but it's not the original, because the head is from a different statue. It's different, whatever. It's literally Frankenstein stuff. Yeah. Or they claim there was one thing or whatever. So, and they're really masters of working with stone or whatever. So now, and also they faked a lot of paintings. They're really great at faking paintings. A lot of these old master paintings that you see coming up at auction in Europe, or like in Germany, you have whole entire workshops in Italy of guys, of like Italians, and maybe they got a couple of Chinese guys also, who, I mean, they're just master, and it's like a thing. It's like just it's, and sometimes they make it look better or as good as the original. So it's part of the cultural thing. So they restore the dolls, they add things or whatever. Like it's very, very treacherous, right? Like so to buy a watch like this, like what we had on the screen, like I wouldn't feel comfortable paying that type of serious money, like we're talking about a couple $100,000, like unless it was like so bulletproof, like 100%, like, we had full documentation. I wouldn't take like this watch. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, but with that said, I think one of the things with these watches, with these vintage watches, there's a whole thing where people are really against it's restored, the dial is restored. I look at it as like vintage cars, right? Like all vintage cars are restored now. If you go to the Pebble Beach, the Concours, Pebble Beach, you're gonna see Bugattis or other $5 million cars that are restored. They're vintage cars from the 20s, 30s, the 40s, whatever, the 60s. They're restored because there's rust, there's corrosion, there's accidents that happen. I mean, these are machines, right? These are machines. They're used. They're used. They don't sit in the museum. It's not a painting. So the difference with a painting, right? The difference between a painting is made to hang on a wall and you don't touch it. And you want the painting in original condition. And older paintings have a restoration, but you want it original, right? With watches, these things are worn, right? They're made to be worn. And cars are driven, right? So I expect that a watch that's going to be worn is going to have restoration. And I think at some point, a lot of these guys are going to come around to it and realize that there's really nothing wrong with having a dial that's restored. Like this watch may be restored, because otherwise the dial would look like shit. I mean, the dial would look like absolute shit. Like, look at some of these watches that, I mean, would you rather have a watch that looks like, let me see. Okay.
Yeah, the patina on a cup. Yeah, there's a good example right there. Yeah, look at that. The short head. By the way, did you see the price?
Yeah, there you go. Right. So I would say, in terms of for a watch, I think at some point people are going to come around to this. It's going to be just like vintage cars. They're going to want, I think the tastes are going to change, and people are going to want something that is, let's just say, what's the word? What are they called? Not gently restored, but a sensitive restoration.
Right.
Where it's
like what Leno does to cars. He's building parts.
It's kind of, I mean, look, it's kind of like a woman, right? Like, I'm going to offend a lot of women, I would say, but look, women don't get better looking as they age, right? And you take a girl who's an absolute 10 at 19. At 60, she's not going to be a 10, okay? But, with good, plastic surgery or whatever it is, they can look pretty good. I mean, really, really good. Like, you see some of these, whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I hear
you. I don't know. What is it like? I'm trying to think who's the actress, whatever. If they do the plastic surgery right, sensitive, not like where they look like, you could, you could age pretty well, right? And I think, and I'll tell you what, I think, I mean, I'm not really, I really don't like makeup. I like a natural look, it's my taste. I don't like women with heavy makeup. I don't like that Kardashian look. But you know what? I'd rather, if I was, if I'm, in my 60s or whatever, I want like something with, I want a model that's been a little bit, I want something that's, a little work done to keep it a little fresh.
Restoration.
The reality, right?
Respectful restoration.
Not crazy stuff, not where it's like, whatever, but it looks better. It's the reality. It's just the reality. It looks better than the real deal. It really does. That's the truth. So I think these watches,
those watch faces that you show, the contrast, there's no way that one that's listed for $258, that one is just not appealing. I have no interest in wearing that watch in that condition. And I certainly wouldn't pay $258 for it.
But a lot of these vintage collectors, which I think these guys, I think it's a new phenomenon. I think it's also kind of like something that's going to fade out. It's all original, blah blah blah. It's all original. Oh, it's great. They want that original. patina. I don't want the patina. I want something that looks, again, I don't expect it to look brand new, but listen, there's nothing wrong with, okay, so, a lot of times, right, you in the art business, right, most paintings, they get cleaned, right? You talk about an old paint, you talk about a 19th century painting, right? Or even something from, the 1940s, whatever, right? Chances are, that painting is going to need a gentle cleaning. Otherwise, it's going to be dark or it's going to be whatever, right? The cleaning can make it look a lot better. Now, there's going to be people out there that are going to say, no, I want original condition, blah, blah, I want what, and whatever it is, right? Or I want to unrestored. But you know what? I don't want it unrestored. I want something that looks presentable. And I don't like this patina stuff. I really don't. And look at this shit.
The tiniest bit of patina, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
one on my wish list that's got the tiniest bit of patina. But
no, but when you look at this, here's the thing. If I'm looking at this type of surface, I'm looking at this dial. To me, this just looks like it makes it look cheap and dirty. Like it looks like just a banged out watch, And I don't want that look on my wrist. If I'm investing $100,000 in a watch, that's a lot of money. When I look at that watch, I want to feel good. I want to feel prosperous. I don't feel prosperous looking at a, dirty watch.
The dirty watch, exactly. Exactly.
Listen, like a lot of like a lot of Asians, they don't like to buy used houses. They like to buy only brand new. You know that? Like Japanese, especially.
Yes. No,
That's
I am aware. It's a very cultural thing. They will not be our competitors when it comes to vintage watch collecting. I think in general.
I think with vintage watches, I think there's some of that too. But houses, it's a big thing. They don't like to buy. Look, it's a big thing. You don't want like a used house, and to me, I feel this because they don't want a house like I don't know whatever. Maybe there's some bad vibes or whatever, spirits, whatever. I don't know. But with these watches, they look, this is just looks. It looks just dirty and used, like a house that's never been painted. It's like buying a 50-year-old house with, the ceilings are kind of, peeling and the paint is peeling and the roof is leaking. But you're insisting, no, I'm going to keep it as is because it's vintage. I want to keep it vintage. Listen, right. It's like you're buying a chateau in France or a palazzo in Italy, that's 500 years old, right? Thing looks, from the outside, it looks great, right? But I gotta tell you, you better keep up, otherwise the roof is gonna start leaking. Those things are always getting restored.
Chances are it's already leaking, and yeah, absolutely.
The ceilings, the paint starts peeling from the ceilings. I mean, even if it's 100 years old, the paint is peeling. It starts looking like shit. And nobody would put up with that in a house. Why would you put up with that in a watch? So I think I think watch collectors, especially like younger generation, is going to come around to that. This is like an old man watch. I mean, looks like something like somebody's grandpa. But if you make it look good,
right.
Like if you make it look like this, then it's beautiful.
Just show it again. On the screen. I agree. That's stunning, actually. That particular one hasn't shown up yet, but that particular one is stunning, and the other one, it's ridiculous. It looks like, And
by the way, and something. But here's the thing: the all these vintage guys today, they're going to go, oh no, they're going to say completely the opposite because that's where the mentality is. But that's not the fact. That's not the reality. You know what I mean? It's just the taste. It's just the fashion. Right now, the fashion for these guys, because they don't know any better. A lot of these watch collectors today, they're basically rubes. I mean, they really are. I mean, a lot of these watch dealers, you see these guys on YouTube, they think they're all very sophisticated. I mean, they're basically crayon eaters and tomato cans, right? Like watch collecting is really it's basically bullshit. It's like collecting cars. Okay, it's like I would compare it to like the art business, right? Like the people who collect like contemporary art versus modern art versus old master paintings versus 19th century, completely different types of IQ and sophistication, education. Like the guys who collect contemporary art only, they're really just basic peasants who, I mean, they might pay $5 million for a painting, but they're basically buying. I mean, yeah, maybe they want it for, but they're just buying it because they're buying it because they know the brand. This is the hot thing. That's like the AP Royal Oak. Versus the guy who's buying an old master painting that's not signed, nobody else is going to know what that is except him. He knows that's a Caravaggio, whatever it is, and this thing is worth, $10, $20 million, right? Or whatever, right? Most people aren't going to know what that is. But probably these watch collectors, the watch thing is still really in its infancy. The market is still so early. It's really kind of where the car market was 30 years ago. It's like we're collecting cars was 20 or 30 years ago. So it's really evolving, and these guys are full of shit when they talk about restoration. Again, there's a big difference. I mean, it's completely whatever, but the problem with these like watches, like this stuff, you're saying, I don't think people are going to value it in 10 years. The tastes are going to change. I really feel very strongly about that. And these guys really they know.
Quick, what Jay Leno has done for the vintage car market and the restoration, and the fact that he's willing to absolutely take a car apart and redo it from scratch because he wants to drive it and he wants it to run well, and he's willing to actually put in some aftermarket things, that has changed the classic car market radically. And I think the same thing will hold true for vintage watches, because
completely
will start.
Think about it. Yeah, think about it. Listen, you buy a vintage car, right? Let's see, what's the most beautiful car in the world? I think is that. What's that Jaguar? What is it? The XK? The 1960s that Jaguar
140, I think, is one of them. Is
whatever.
Buddy of mine.
Amazing car, right? But you're never gonna find one in the original condition because there's rust, there's the elements. But I don't want to drive one. If I'm buying that car, I don't want to drive that car with the rust on it. On the hood. Yeah, actually, hold on. You live in Connecticut, right? So I know a guy he collects vintage cars. He might live in your he might live in your area. And this guy, he collects. There's a car I really missed the boat on. It was a vintage car. It was a Mercedes 280 SE 3.5 Cabriolet. You know that car? 280.
Yeah, I know.
Let me pull this up. I'm gonna pull up this car. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pull this up. This car is.
I don't happen to know the guy. I know a guy who doesn't have a cabriolet. A guy who's got a hard top. But cabriolet is a beaut.
Hang on, cabriolet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show. Hang on. I'm gonna show. Okay. This guy's a dentist. He's a dentist. He restores cars. He's actually he restores them himself. That's his hobby, right? He has one of these cars.
Okay. It's not showing up, by the way.
It's not. Hang on.
It's not showing.
It's not? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Here we go.
There we go. Yep.
Okay. So,
yeah.
I remember the first time I saw this car was in it must have been. I just learned how to drive. This was in. I'll tell you where it was. It was probably like in the year 2000 or 1990. No, it was in the year 2000, 2001 in East Hampton in the summer.
Okay.
I see this car in a tobacco brown, or this type of color, tobacco brown, parked on Main Street. And I was like, wow, what an amazing car. And I remember I wrote down the name. I got to fly. Yeah, I got to fly. And I look, and the prices back then, they were like 40, 50 grand, right? And which was, 40, 50 grand. It wasn't, it's basically like, I guess today that would be the equivalent of like 75 grand, maybe 80 grand, maybe more.
Okay.
But whatever. It was like 40, 50 grand. And And I kind of like, I was looking and I saw ads, and this is before really the internet was a thing, really, right? So you see an ad in the magazine, you can't really look online, and I couldn't find one. I couldn't find the cabriolet, and I'm like, well, whatever. I'm like, I'm sure I'll get one later. Today these cars are 250 grand.
Is that what they're going for? Yeah. Even the hardtop my buddy has is a gorgeous one. It's got this just beautiful back window.
The hardtop is amazing. It's amazing. I actually came very close to buying one from a Chinese guy for like, it was in green, this color, this exact in the hardtop. For like, I think he wanted like 14 grand for it, right? The problem was, here's the funny thing. Okay, so it had some rust. It had rust, right? And I wanted to, it had rust. I'm trying to think how far. I think I did get it inspected, and I'm trying to think. So I'm at the guy's house. It's the owner. He's an older guy, right? He's like off the boat, Chinese, like from the banana boat, right? He's like, he doesn't really speak English, right? So I'm dealing with his son, who's like, second generation. He's Americanized, right? And I'm at the guy's house, right? And I'm like, listen, I want to buy the car, right? I want to take the car now. And and by the way, at that time, I'm trying to think. I never even bought a car before. So this is how stupid I am. This is before I even bought a car. This would have been my first car. I just learned how to drive, and I'm looking for this car, right? So I'm at the guy's house, somewhere in Brooklyn somewhere, and I got a checkbook. I thought, hey, I'm going to give the guy a check, right? Like, I'm not going to give a bad check. Like, who the fuck gives a bad check, right? So I'd say, listen, I'll give you a check, like 13. I'm not, 13. Here's my ID, whatever. And the guys and the guys, no, like, no check, whatever. I say, listen, how about I'm a little bit naive. I guess people do write bad checks for cars, whatever. But, so I'm wearing a Rolex, a Datejust, steel. Actually, my first Rolex. Right? It's worth it was $3 grand. I say, listen, I'll throw in the Rolex. Hey, I'll give you the Rolex, and I'll give you 10 grand, whatever. Because I thought I saw the guy was a winner, so I thought maybe that would make him go for it. No. He's like, whatever, and I'm like, whatever. And anyway, I couldn't close the deal, and the car had rust, whatever. But again, that car with restoration would have been good. But these cars, like, you don't want to drive this car with the rust on it and all the bullshit. Look at these. You want the car sensitively restored.
Jay Leno's even put new brakes, like modern braking systems in some of these.
Yeah.
Probably a few of these even don't have power steering. And I don't know if you've ever driven a car that doesn't have power steering.
I don't want that.
That would be rough stuff. Isn't that gorgeous? That the chocolate.
I think this is the car I saw. I think like it was this type of look. It was this chocolate brown with this brown cognac. I think it was like a cognac.
But the wheels don't go with it. The wheels are from the 80s. This is a
are these?
Those wheels are from the 80s. So they did not do a good job. The correct wheels rims on that one. Yeah. So that was a little bit,
Oh shit! I lost the page. Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, we're getting late here anyway. All right, Baron. Listen, thank you for joining. I'm going to sign off here. Thank you everybody for joining. We'll catch up with the next one. But bottom line is nothing wrong with restoration. I think people are going to come around to it, in my opinion. Have a good night.
Take care, Colonel. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.